What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk about this yet, but in the OCG, they're getting this really nice 25th anniversary Ultimate Kaiba set. It has a briefcase, the one that Kaiba used in the anime, obviously. It also has these 3 blue eyes that are in a great looking display case, and finally it has all 61 cards used by Seto Kaiba in the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. Now what's cool here though is that of those 61 cards, only 58 of them had been printed already, so 3 of them are finally getting made into real life cards. And these 3 new cards are long overdue, basically 20 years overdue in fact. Now I didn't talk about this when it was first announced. That looks like it was back on September 14th, because at that point we didn't know what the cards would actually do. You'll see here in this article, at least Yu-Gi-Oh organization did compare them to their manga card artworks and stuff like that, but we didn't know their effects, and obviously people expected them to be changed a little bit, especially this one right here, Life Shaver. This card's effect is really weird and it probably wouldn't translate well into the OCG or TCG, like the physical card games, so I knew that they were going to change that one. But today we finally know the effects of these cards and what they're going to be in the OCG, so I wanted to look at these cards in today's video. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Ridge Wallets. If you're sick of your bulky leather wallet, Ridge makes the perfect upgrade for you. They make sleek industrial wallets that come in all sorts of styles and colors. They fit up to 12 cards, and they have a convenient money clip on the back for carrying cash. If you guys are interested in picking up a Ridge wallet, go to ridge.com/dzeeff and use code DZEEFF at checkout for 10% off of your order. Thank you to Ridge for sponsoring today's video. First up, we have Attack Guidance Armor, a normal trap card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. When a monster declares an attack, activate 1 of these effects. Either destroy the attacking monster or target 1 monster on the field other than the attacking monster, change the attack target to the target, and enter damage calculation. So I believe in the anime this card equipped to a monster and then everything would attack that monster, so this card is a bit better in my opinion. It does basically power creep Sakuratsu armor entirely because it has that destroy the attacking monster effect, but this time it doesn't target and it has a bonus effect. Of course though, Sakuratsu armor hasn't been competitive for a long time, so it's perfectly okay if that card gets power crept. But yeah, Attack Guidance Armor doesn't look that terrible at a casual level. No, it's probably not going to see competitive play, but it's still a cool card. Remember, the purpose of these 3 cards isn't to make them competitively viable necessarily, but they're just cool throwbacks to the original series. Next up, we have Life Shaver. Now in the anime, this was a trap card that when activated would discard cards out of your opponent's hand equal to how many turns the card had been set. But that would be pretty challenging to do in a physical card game, so I was interested to see how they would change this card's effect. Here's what they did. Life Shaver is now a continuous trap card, not a normal trap card, and it has 3 different effects. You can only control 1 Life Shaver once per turn during your opponent's end phase, place 1 counter on this card, and finally during the main or battle phase, if this card has any of its counters on it, you can send this card to the graveyard, then your opponent discards as many cards from their hand as possible, up to the number of counters that were on this card. So basically, instead of having you keep track of how long the card has been set, you have to flip the card up and then it keeps track by putting counters on it. And yeah, this effect is pretty slow. I've seen some people comment and say it's not that bad of a card, but oh my gosh, is this card slow. I mean, you have to set it and then it does nothing during your opponent's turn, and then even during your opponent's end phase, when this card gets a counter, your opponent has an opportunity to like destroy this card before you get to a main phase, because you'll have to go through that end phase and then your draw phase and standby phase, and then finally once your main phase hits, you can then use use this effect to discard one card out of your opponent's hand. Yeah, that's not very strong. I really wish they let you use this card in the end phase. It probably still wouldn't be good. I mean, it's basically a worse drastic drop-off because, let's be honest here, you are not going to get multiple counters placed on this card in any competitive match, and honestly, you probably wouldn't even be able to do that in a casual match either. This card has no protection effects, and yeah, I'm sure someone will say like, oh, you can guard it with like Imperial Customs, but let's be honest here, that's not going to ever work in any like competitive environment, but maybe even in any casual environment as well. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but yeah, while the other two cards that they made look like they have buffs compared to their anime versions, this one is actually significantly worse. It's going to be pretty difficult to use in pretty much any environment, even ones that aren't really competitive. Next up, we have Magical Trick Mirror. I love this card's artwork. This is a normal trap card that says, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, target one spell in your opponent's graveyard, set that card to your field. So in the anime, it immediately activated that spell, but here we only can actually set it to our board, so you'll have to wait until your turn if you want to use that spell. The second effect, though, which is brand new here, says you can banish this card from your graveyard, then send one monster reborn from your hand or from your face-down field to the graveyard, special summon one Obelisk the Tormentor from your graveyard in defense position. If this effect is activated during your opponent's turn, for the rest of this turn while you control the special summon monster, each monster your opponent controls must attack it if able. So that could be a pretty hilarious way to get a win. Like I said, that second effect is brand new to the physical version of this card. I don't believe that was on the anime card at all. This card does remind me quite a bit of Dark Spell Regeneration. That card has two very similar effects, but it works with the Winged Dragon of Ra instead of Obelisk. I believe Dark Spell Regeneration did not have the Ra effect in the anime either, so I'm not sure what it is with Konami adding those types of effects on these cards, because the first effect of Magical Trick Mirror is identical to the first effect of Dark Spell Regeneration, so that is pretty interesting that they've added that God card effect to two different cards that otherwise would basically be identical. While these cards probably won't see competitive play, they are cool throwbacks, and it's nice to see Konami doing this 25th anniversary product. I like the idea of including every single one of Kaiba's played cards from the original series in one collection. That's pretty nice. You don't have to worry about short prints or pulling certain cards. You get all 61 in that case, and the blue eyes look really nice too, and the case itself is pretty cool as well. So overall, I like the product, but I don't think we're going to get it in the TCG. The OCG gets all sorts of crazy stuff like this, but I would be pretty surprised to see a similar product in the TCG, and admittedly, we'd have to wait a few years before the TCG's 25th anniversary anyway, but I doubt even when we do get to that 25th anniversary that we'll get a product like this. I do want to say though, I hope Konami does not make the TCG wait several years before we get these cards. I don't think they would wait until the TCG's 25th anniversary, but I suppose they could, but I really hope they don't do that. I especially think these cards are cool for people that own character decks, because now you can really complete your Kaiba original series deck now that these three cards are being made into physical trading cards. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these cards. Should they have been more competitive, or are you fine with them being like this? Were they more like casual focused? Personally, I think it's okay that these cards aren't very good. The fans of these cards are not trying to use them in competitive environments. They probably just want to complete their Kaiba collections, and I think that's okay. Not every card has to be competitive. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.